I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Bowling Green Board of Commissioners for August 21st, 2018. I invite you to stand if you choose while Commissioner Williams leads us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance.
Join me if you wish. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the many blessings of this life. We'd ask that you be with us now as we consider all the businesses brought before us. Lead, guide us, and direct us in the way that you would see fit for us to handle those things that are brought before us. Keep each and every one of our citizens safe and humble as we go through our daily lives. All this we ask in Jesus' name and for his precious and holy sake. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Denning.
Here.
Commissioner Nash.
Here.
Commissioner Perigin.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Here. Under awards and recognitions tonight, we've invited Warren County Attorney Amy Milliken to be present with us for a minute and explain to us a little bit about what's going on in the county and the petition that's about occurring.
Thank you, Mayor and City Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to come tonight. I did want to just briefly tell you what's going on and what may possibly be on the ballot on November the 6th. There is a petition circulating amongst all of Warren County citizens asking them if they would like to place an issue on the ballot, and that issue is whether or not they would like to change Warren County from a dry territory to a wet territory. Currently, under Kentucky law, if a county is in a dry territory, you are not legally allowed to give, sell, procure for another, or furnish anyone any alcoholic beverages if you live in the unincorporated areas of the city of Bowling Green. The city of Bowling Green is wet, but the county of Warren is dry. What we have seen recently, I've had many businesses come to me and say, this is really hurting me because Barron County has gone wet, Simpson County has gone wet, and so they are passing up our small businesses and going to Barron County to buy their bread and their milk where they can also buy alcohol. They are passing up our friends in Alvaton, and they're passing up our friends in the north end of the county, and they're going to these other areas so that they can procure alcohol. What we're also seeing are nonprofits. We had a nonprofit corporation here in Warren County, and they were going to have a function, and they were going to offer their guests beer and wine. Weren't going to sell it to them. We're just going to give it to them as part of their fundraiser, and they couldn't do that in the county. We've also seen our wedding venues suffer because the brides who are coming from New York and New Jersey and all over the country, they're coming into Bowling Green and Warren County, but if they go out in the county to our beautiful venues, they're not legally able to toast the bride with champagne because you cannot give your guest alcohol if you live in the county. So we've had a bunch of businesses come together. It is an economic issue, we believe, and they are asking that it be put on the ballot for November the 6th. They have until Friday at noon to turn in about 13,000 signatures. They have an online petition that you can sign where they can e-sign, or there's a paper ballot being passed around. Many of our local businesses are very supportive, and they have those at their businesses. I know Angie can probably tell you exactly who offers that in their business, but we ask that you think about it. I would love to hear from the voters of Bowling Green and Warren County. I'd like to know what they think about it, if they think we need to enforce this law, or if they think we need to be a wet territory so we don't have to enforce this law.
If I could ask you a couple of questions.
Please do.
How does this affect the city if you have a countywide wet-dry election? Does it affect our status?
It does not affect your status at all because you're wet. So you will remain wet regardless of the outcome of the decision. But this would just be the unincorporated areas of the county.
Years ago, and I'm talking years ago when I was involved in law enforcement, when we enforced alcoholic beverage laws, we didn't bother with somebody who was having a party who was furnishing it with their guests. It was the commercial aspect that we looked at. If you charged to go, then that's when we involved the enforcement part of it. You're telling us that outside of wet territory, that's not the case?
And I was going to say, and you were with the city of Bowling Green.
A long time ago, he said.
And I'm saying a long time ago. I was an infant at that time.
You were I remember when you went to your first teen beauty pageant. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I'm
was
sorry, go
kidding.
ahead.
I was kidding. Just joking. But truly, it was within the city of Bowling Green. Outside of the area of the county, you really legally can. I can't even have a I live in the county, as you know, because you're trying to get me to annex my property, and I
Take care of that
refuse.
for you,
Just so
right.
everybody knows, I am a county girl. But in all joking aside, I live in the county. If I choose to have a derby party or a Super Bowl party, legally, I could not give you alcohol in a dry territory. That's a strict reading of the statute. Now, I don't think the sheriff's office is going to come knocking on my door, but there is always that possibility, and truthfully, it affects what it's really affecting right now are our businesses, not really our homeowners, but it's affecting our businesses because, and I'm going to go back to the wedding venues. Our wedding venues are being reported on to ABC for enforcement because Barron County, they can serve champagne. Simpson County can serve champagne. Warren County has always been a leader, and I think we need to lead by setting our businesses up for prosperity. So I think we need to get this on the ballot and let our people speak.
I think you brought the Mosleys here to.
I did.
If you want to come on up and tell us where those locations are, whatever else you had to add to it.
Absolutely. Thank you all for allowing me to talk. My name is Angie Mosley. My family owns Highland Stables Event Venue. As far as this goes for us, we've been working this probably 12 hours a day since it started. For us, it's more of a serving issue. It really has nothing to do with a selling issue. When you own a business like a venue, it's almost impossible for to enforce a consenting adult of drinking age to not bring in alcohol. It's going to be done. The only thing that happens is you can't control underage drinking. You can't control most of us really. I mean, it's an easy day if there is no alcohol, but if it's brought in, you want to be able to control it. You want to be able to have hours that they can have it. You want to keep it behind the bar. You want to have an ABC bartender to enforce and make sure no one underage is drinking. So for us, essentially, it was a selfish reason. It's just for us and our business to stay afloat, to be able to continue to grow, to protect our brides, our neighbors. We have great neighbors, and we try to take care of them and be respectful. But also, after traveling from one end of the county and talking to these small business owners, Drake Country Store, Hadley One Stop, Plano store, these people are just barely holding on. It's hard for these little stores, with all of your bigger corporations coming in and opening up stores and where they just pass them. They want to be able to stop and maybe get a 6-pack of beer and maybe get bread and maybe do something, all at one stop. So even, if we go wet, there's no guarantee, I know, for those small communities that they might get a liquor license, but at least it gives them a little bit of hope because a lot of them are struggling and just barely hanging on. So throughout all this, I've learned a lot. I've been in a tent. I've sat in a tent for many, many hours over the last 2 and 3 weeks working a wet vote that, if you know me, I barely even drink. But I do feel like it's time. I feel like Warren Countyans want it. Of people that I've talked to, there's overwhelming support for it. And in fact, 90% of the people I've talked to had no idea that Warren County was dry. And I can assure you that probably 100% of them had no idea that if you have a neighbor over to sit in your front porch and watch the cars go by and you give them a beer, that they've just broken the law and could be charged with a misdemeanor and up to a $250 fine for that. So I think most everybody in this room has probably broken that law at one point in time if you live in the county. So just appreciate you all letting us speak and would appreciate any of your support.
Thank you.
So,
Did any
thank
member of
you.
the commission have a question?
I do have one question, Amy.
I'm sorry. Yes,
It's
absolutely.
it's actually for Amy.
Okay, good.
I had inquired through County Clerk Lynette Yates about an electronic signature
Yes,
and was told that the law didn't allow it.
that's right.
And so I told some people that the law didn't allow it, and now it appears that it's allowed. Can you?
So was it Thursday?
It was, I think
I think Wednesday last week, we were provided with an unpublished, so you cannot find it anywhere, an unpublished 2016 Attorney General opinion that said now because of how technology has evolved, you can now sign your name with a stylus, with even your finger on an iPad, and the Attorney General recognized that as an actual signature. And so truly it was by happenstance that we found it. It was from an Ohio County clerk. She wrote in and requested some information and was provided a response, and so we were able to get our hands on that, and that's when we went, that's when everyone went with the e-petition. I do want to remind everyone that you can live anywhere in Warren County. You can live in the city of Bowling Green, the city of Smiths Grove. You can live anywhere in the county and still be able to sign this petition. If you want to have a voice in with regard to the enforcement of this law, you really need to get this on the ballot, and you need to be able to vote on it for November the 6th. If we don't have 13,000 signatures by Friday, that's in basically 3 days, at noon, it will not be on the ballot. So I encourage everyone to take an opportunity, tell your friends about it, and get on and e-sign, or you can go to Double Dogs, Rafferty's, Montana Grill, help me Angie, El Mazalon, 643, Mariah's, Shogun. So there are lots of paper ballots out there, but you can go on to Warren Counties for Economic Growth on Facebook and on Twitter. Yes, and it'll direct you to the e-link.
Okay.
Any other questions?
She answered it.
Okay.
I was going to add, all precincts would be able to vote.
Yes.
And you said if you live anywhere in Warren County, you can vote.
I tell Bruce all the time, Warren County across the street, we take in everyone. We don't just say you have to live in the incorporated areas. We love everyone equally. So,
Well,
I'm
I do
teasing.
think there's a misconception out there with a lot of people that they think they're either city or county.
That's right.
We're all Warren Countyans.
we are all Warren Countyans. Thank you for acknowledging that, Rick.
You're quite welcome. Just want to be one
Yes,
of
we
you.
just want to be one. We just want to be one. Okay. Any other questions I can answer?
Be careful what you say.
Oh, yeah. Let's one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for helping us understand what's going on. Thank you. Appreciate that. And you're welcome to step out if you want to. I know you've got family issues to deal with. All right. Do we have any other awards or recognitions? Just want to acknowledge the city administrator of Calvert City has joined us tonight. Thank you for being here, John Ward. All right. You're up, Jeff, for a public hearing for the purpose of obtaining comments from residents regarding the proposed 2018 property taxes.
Up at the top. There you go.
Okay. I think this is the last time I'll do this, so I'm going to be fighting back tears the whole time I'm doing this presentation. So bear with me. Property tax season is upon us. We got our assessment from the PVA and had a really good year. We've got 7.4% total growth coming in, and that amounts to $357 million. Our assessment is now over $5 billion for city and city annexed areas. So to calculate the rate, you have to look at the existing property versus what the new property did. Our existing property growth was 4.5% or $218 million. We went from 4.797 billion to 5 billion, and of that 218,000, that equates to 4.5% growth. So we are capped at 4% growth on our existing property. So I'll get to that here in just a second, but that's why we are proposing the rate we are proposing. The new property came in at 2.9. You add that to the 4.5, you get back to your 7.4% growth. Our 17 rate was 0.206. Compensating rate for this year, 2018, would be 19.7 cents per hundred. That's the rate you set if you don't want to collect any more money, you don't want to take advantage of any of the assessment growth, and you want to collect the same exact dollar as you collected the prior fiscal year. I don't think we want to do that. I'm not recommending that. Our 2018 4% growth rate, as you can see, went to 20.5 cents per hundred. That's because of that 0.5% over. We went over on the 4% existing growth. So tonight, I'm proposing that we go with that 20.5 cents per hundred rate for real estate. This is kind of how you walk through the calculations. I won't bore you with all of that, but any rate set between compensating and a 4% growth rate requires us to have this hearing right now, so that's why we're here. So that's part of the KRS. This is just a continuation of how we go through the rate calculation. As you can see, that 4% growth calculation shows up there at the 0.205. And then if we had left it at 20.6, we would have been subject to a referendum of objection to that rate. So we are recommending the 20.5. We don't think that's going to hurt us any much on the revenue side and reaching the budget we've set for real estate taxes. This is a quick history back to 2008 of what our growth has been on new and existing growth. As you can see, back in 2008, we were 4.1 on existing, and we had to lower our rate slightly. And then every year in between that, between then and now, we've been below 4, so we've been able to keep our rate the same. But as you can see, in 2018, we tipped over 4% at that 4.5. So we're dropping it just a tenth of a penny. These are just gives you an idea of where we stand with other cities. Average real estate tax rate in Kentucky cities is 22.5 cents per hundred. Most counties are around 33 cents per hundred. School districts are averaging about 64.8 cents per hundred. So we're below average on our real estate tax. On the personal property tax side, we're below that too. We're at 26 cents per hundred. Some of these rates here are current. Some have not been updated, but we think the city schools are going to be about 83.5 cents. That is on our tax bill as a separate line. If you live in the city school district, you receive your city school tax property bill on the city property bill as a second line. So a lot of people may get that confused that we're raising taxes and see that increase, but we are not. That's a separate line that we collect for the city school district and remit to them. I think the Warren County rate may change. I'm not sure where they're at. I don't think they've set theirs yet, maybe. And then county schools, we believe that might be last year's rate as well. I'm not sure. They were looking at a rate increase, but don't think that's been official yet. Just a couple of reminders before I step down. Anybody owning property in the city, you pay taxes to the city, and you will also receive a county tax bill. As Commissioner Williams said, even though you live in Bowling Green, you also live in Warren County, so you have two tax bills. People do get that confused. Our taxes are due by December 31st. If that deadline is not met, there is a 10% penalty that takes effect January 1st. And that's a big penalty, so you have to really be careful with that. Most people that have their taxes set up in their mortgage escrow will still receive a bill from us just for tax records, but their mortgage company should take care of that as usual. And then finally, if you do not receive a bill, say by November 1st, please contact our office. You are still responsible for paying your property taxes, even though you don't get a bill. So that's all I had. Or answer any questions y'all have tonight.
Just as a reminder, the Bowling Green Independent School District has no connection with the city of Bowling Green. We're just simply billing on their behalf. They pay us to do that, just like Warren County School Board is not a part of Warren County government as well.
That's correct.
Put it in perspective, if you have a $100,000 house, your city tax last year was $206. This year will be $205. It's a moderate, very small change, but we're pleased that we're able to operate in such a fashion where we're continuing to grow and continuing to manage city money in such a way that we don't have to ask for a tax increase. In fact, the tax decrease this time. This is a public hearing. Is anyone in the public that wants to address our property tax rate? Non-commission. Hearing.
No idea if I can.
What's your question?
Question is, what would it take to get a discount, like a 10% discount in property tax for veterans and for the BICOs? What would it take?
Don't have any idea on that question. We'll have to
Let
have that
me-
research and
There is a tax break for people over 65, and it's called a homestead exemption. And
Okay.
that amount, it's Alex, help me out. It's $30-some thousand that comes off your taxable value of your house. That gives you, if you're 65 or older and you own and reside in your house, that comes off of your assessment, which comes off of both your city bill and your county bill as a discount.
Okay, so that means, so do people know about this?
Most people do.
I'm sure it gets around.
Most people count down the days till they're when they get close to the 60.
65. Is there a way to change that? Is there a way to change the year to like 60 years old? And
also-
for the veterans,
It starts if you're either you get it for whether if you're disabled, you also get it. There's a disabled exemption, and then their homestead exemption is for 65 and older.
What about the veterans? They deserve it.
But don't think there is anything in KRS for veterans.
So what would it take to get a 10% discount for the veterans?
I don't know. He's indicating that those exemptions were provided by state law, so I don't know that we can provide a tax.
It's not anything local.
I think it's pretty strict law on how property tax assessments and property tax rates are set. So
Properties have to be assessed every 4 years by the property
Gene, do you
assessor.
have?
Yeah, these are all statutory things, and state law is going to preempt anything we would try to do in these. We can't take exemptions other than exemptions in state law.
So state law, so it has to be changed by state law.
Yes.
Okay. And so I wanted to know. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and move on to city manager comments. Mr. Meisel, you've got something for us tonight.
We do have a need for a closed session tonight. Katie will read the reason.
Pursuant to KRS 61810B for discussions on the future acquisition of real property by the city, but only when publicity would likely affect the value of a specific piece or pieces of property to be acquired for public use.
Second.
Motion by Nash, second by Williams. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. What else?
I'd like to ask Kim Lancaster to step up and present the results of our biannual citizen survey that we recently received.
Evening, Mrs.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me here. I am here to present the 2018 biannual citizen survey results. Kind of going to go through a little bit about the citizen survey, which is like I do every time before we kind of go through the results. This survey is a collaborative effort between the National Research Center and the International City-County Management Association. This is actually our 6th biannual survey. We started using them in 2008, so we now have a fair amount of data to compare when going from year to year. The survey focuses on community characteristics, local government services, and issues of trust. The survey and its administration are standardized to assure high quality of research methods. Participating households are selected at random, and they do ask that the adult with the most recent birthday fill out the survey in order to get a sample without bias. And we conducted an online survey again this year. We did provide an optional hard copy as well. That was actually an accident that hard copy went out, but it helped us out because it did increase our return rate this year. We provide multiple mailings. They send out a letter letting folks know what's going to happen, when the survey will come, and then two postcards are sent out with the email address on it, or the website address on it for folks to go online and fill that out. The NCS survey is reviewed and customized with input from staff and elected officials. This year we mailed out 1,800 postcards letting folks know how to take the survey. We had a 17% response rate. In 2016, we had a 13% response rate, so that was a big increase for us this year. And then we also did the opt-in survey again this year. When we closed out the random sample, we gave the website address out via social media, press release, things of that nature, so anybody who didn't receive a postcard could still log on and fill out the information if they were so inclined. Just a few reasons why we do the survey. Some of our more immediate benefits for future planning are resource allocations. It helps with our performance measurements in evaluating programs and policies. Some of our longer-term benefits are improved services, more civic engagement, better community quality of life, stronger public trust, and determining where our future resources and funds need to be allocated. I always kind of try and go over some of the comparisons and understanding the results. Some of it is kind of seems basic or common knowledge, but I want to make sure we all know that, nationally public safety services tend to be ranked a lot higher. Your police and your fire are going to get much higher ratings than, say, your road crews, things like that. It's also better to compare like Bowling Green Police Department to other police agencies out there instead of comparing Bowling Green Police Department to our fire department or again to our roads crew or something like that. And in order for any comparison from a previous survey to be considered significant, the plus or minus on that needs to be more than 8%. Some of the trends over time that we're looking at here is, first of all, our overall community characteristics. And what I've got up here is the percent that were rated as good or excellent. So that first one you see on the far left there is the overall quality of life in Bowling Green. 84% of folks, the blue down there, rated us as good or excellent for overall quality of life. Bowling Green as a place to live received 91% as good or excellent. As a place to retire, we actually took a really big jump from 70% to 84%, which again would be considered in that significant realm. And then overall appearance of BG actually took a small drop down to 83%. But if you can see what I've got below there, all of those except for a place to retire are similar to the national benchmark. So we're staying in line with other communities that are being surveyed as well. Some additional trends over time. Folks who recommend living in Bowling Green, 90% are likely or somewhat likely to do so. And folks who are going to remain in Bowling Green for the next 5 years, we're at 82% are likely or somewhat likely. And again, those are both similar to the national benchmark. Our recreation and wellness, our community engagement rated as good or excellent. Recreational opportunities, we actually took a decent drop there down to 72% rated as good or excellent. And that's one of the things we've put a lot of effort into with the Parks Master Plan and updating some of our parks and updating our fitness facility. And so that drop in particular, I'm not sure where that came from or, why we've invested in that and haven't seen that improvement. But we are still similar to the national benchmark when it comes to everyone else. Fitness opportunities, 71% of folks rated What we offer as good or excellent, and with regards to special events and activities, 68%. And again, all of those are similar to the national benchmark. City mobility, our overall ease of traffic is at 62% rated as good or excellent. Our paths and walking trails took a really big jump up to 60% excellent or good, and that's another area where we've invested some additional funds and worked on sidewalks and greenways and things of that nature, so it's nice to see that trending upward. Ease of walking is at 50%, which is exactly where it was, and then traffic flow, 29% of folks rate our traffic flow as excellent or good, which is actually the one thing that we have on here that is lower than the national average. And it took a 10% drop from last year. And again, with traffic flow and roads, it's hard to explain to folks when they're taking a survey whether they're referring to a state road, a county road, a city road. So that's a little ambiguous with the results. Public safety, our Bowling Green Police Department, 80% rate them as excellent or good. With the Bowling Green Fire Department, we see 96%. Animal control is at 65%, and overall feeling of safety is at 84%. And you can see that all of those are similar to the national average and pretty on par with what we've seen in years past. Street and sidewalk maintenance, street repair, we are at 48% as excellent or good. Street cleaning is at 62%. Snow removal is at 70%, which is a really big jump for us. And again, I hope that's attributed to the fact that we've seen investment in some extra snow plows and staff in order to take care of that when we get snow in the wintertime. Sidewalk maintenance is at 57%, which again is similar to that national benchmark. General governance. We've got services provided by the City of Bowling Green are at 77%. It's similar to the national benchmark, and that's a small drop for us, but not a significant one. Value of services for taxes paid was 50% excellent or good. The overall direction of Bowling Green is at 60% excellent or good, and confidence in city government is at 52% excellent or good. Again, you can see that all those numbers have dropped since the 2016 survey, but they've dropped nationally. Those numbers have dropped across the board, and so we've stayed similar with other communities. So we aren't the only ones seeing that drop. Most communities are seeing that. Overall, kind of in summary, Bowling Green, what we found this year and in years past is we're extremely similar to the benchmark of both southern cities that we're compared to, similar sized populations, and the national benchmark in almost every category that's out there. We were ranked lower than previous years in categories such as cost of living, ease of travel, customer service, and value for taxes paid. While we were ranked lower than previous years, these are all still similar to the national benchmark. And then we were rated higher in cost of living. So that's one area where we went up in a positive way. Where we were ranked higher than previous years, categories snow removal, a place to retire, paths and walking trails, and travel by bicycle. All of these were similar to the national benchmark, with the exception of a place to retire, where we were higher than the national benchmark. What I've gone over is kind of just a compilation of some of the trends over time that kind of give an overall feel for how people are feeling about the community and the direction we're going. It is by no means the survey in its entirety. I think it's approximately an 80 or 90 page document, so there's a lot of questions, a lot more data that you can pull from it. We have that posted on bgky.org. It's on the front page under our featured links, so if you would like to read the entire survey, I know you all have a copy, but if any of our citizens would like to, that's available. And folks can always reach out to me if they have further questions regarding the survey.
I have a question for Mrs. Lancaster.
One thing that I know you do a lot of promoting on social media and through other vehicles to try to get the word out and let our citizens know about all the things, the good things that are going on in Bowling Green. Are we doing enough? I know there's a lot that you do. And I'm just wondering if there's something else out there that would help get the word out to the citizens about all the good things that are being done. Because, some of these things that I'm seeing in here, I'm just thinking maybe they're just not aware of what's being done.
Right. Maybe there's some services that they're not using that they could be using. And that's potential. In the past sort of 3 to 4 months, we have really ramped up what we've been doing, particularly with parks and with roads, trying to let folks know what roads we're working on, roads or sidewalks that are being either repaved or created, as well as what kind of parks improvements we're seeing, because we've seen a whole lot of parks improvements this summer, and we're going to have a few more coming still in the fall. And so we're trying to do that to let folks know you can play soccer here now. We have a new splash pad here. We have a new zip line here. And we've seen a big jump in our numbers with regards to social media, people following us, people liking us, and people, you know, seeing what we're doing out there.
Kim is not in the office near as much as she used to be, so she's out there snapping pictures and reporting what's going on. So
There's an office in this building?
she does.
Thank you very much. We
All right,
appreciate
thank
the
you.
information. Do you have any other comments, Mr. Mizel?
I do not.
I need approval of the minutes for our regular meeting on August 7th, 2018.
So moved.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First item is second reading of ordinance BG 2018-34.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning a tract of land containing 18.8426 acres from AG Agriculture to RS1D Single Family Residential, located at Iris Hill Street and Sagittarius Avenue, presently owned by Greg Reese and Dennis and Lori Causey.
Second.
By Nash, second by Perigin. Second reading of an ordinance that had a unanimous recommendation from Planning and Zoning. Is there any further comment or question? Please call the roll.
Denning. Nash.
Yes.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Second reading of ordinance BG 2018-35.
Ordinance closing a public right-of-way. Ordinance approving the closing of a portion of Chestnut Street right-of-way located between US 31W bypass and Barren River.
Move.
Motion by Williams, second by Nash. Again, this is a second reading of a unanimous recommendation from Planning and Zoning. Won't affect public travel. Is there any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Finally, Municipal Order 2018-154.
Municipal order approving the promotions of Penny L. Bowles to the position of Deputy Police Chief, John Richard Wiley to the position of Assistant Police Chief, Robert A. Hanson to the position of Police Captain, and Jacob T. Forrester to the position of Police Sergeant in the Police Department.
Second.
Motion by Nash, second by Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
First of all, I'd like to thank Deputy Chief Melanie Watts. I think she's here tonight for all her years of service. Her retirement was effective August 1st, which created these 4 opportunities for promotion. And we thank Melanie for all of her great years of service and wish her the best in her next career, next endeavors. I'd like to I'll ask Chief Hawkins to come up and make his recommendations for promotions.
Thank you, Mr. Mizel. Mayor and Commission, I'm honored to be here tonight to bring before the Commission my recommendation for promotions to 4 separate positions. I think all 4 of those candidates are here tonight, so I'd like them all to stand up. Jake Forrester, Robert Hanson, Rick Wiley, and Penny Bowles. If you'll stand up while I enter into the record some comments about each candidate. Officer Jake Forrester being recommended for promotion to sergeant. Hired January of 2012. Another example of a young man who was part of our Explorer program many years ago, served as a police cadet and now is a Bowling Green police officer. Graduate of Warren Central High School, attended Campbellsville University, also Western Kentucky University, has a bachelor's degree in sociology and a minor in criminology. He has completed the Kentucky Tactical Officers Association SWAT School. He is one of our trusted police training officers. He is one of our initial UAV pilots, the unmanned aerial vehicle pilots of that new program. In 2016, he was the Bowling Green Police Department Officer of the Year, and he has in the past received the Life Saving Medal, matter of fact, just several months ago in 2018. Yes, sir.
Who was his old supervisor when he was a cadet? Do you know?
Oh, but I bet he can tell us.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
With Jake tonight to help celebrate are his mother Patty, his father Herman, and his wife Rachel, and we're happy they're here tonight. Being recommended for promotion to captain is Sergeant Robert Hanson. There is a little bit of a pattern here. Initially worked for us as a cadet, and then a Bowling Green police officer, hired in 2000 as a Bowling Green police officer. Grew up in Greenville, Kentucky, over in the western part of Kentucky, even further west than we are here. Went to WKU in the fall of 1996. Also was an explorer and a member of our cadet program before being hired as a Bowling Green police officer. A graduate of Muhlenberg South High School. Also a graduate of Western Kentucky University with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and a Master of Public Administration. He is a Kentucky Law Enforcement Council certified instructor. For them, he teaches crisis intervention training and diminishable skills. For the Bowling Green Police Department, he's a firearms instructor, a fitness instructor, a driving instructor, a taser instructor. By the way, he's on our training staff. He is a graduate of the Academy of Police Supervision, which is for our supervisors, and also a graduate of the Criminal Justice Executive Development Program, both excellent programs for professional development. Robert has served as a field training officer. He has served long-term on our critical response team, much of that time as a sniper for the critical response team. Also served as a team leader inside the critical response team. He is one of our motor officers, and he served for several years as the motorcycle unit supervisor. His fiancee Jennifer is here with him tonight to help celebrate. I'd like to recommend Captain Rick Wiley for promotion to major. Interestingly, and you have to know a little bit about the history of the Bowling Green Police Department to appreciate this, but when Rick came to Bowling Green, one of his early part-time jobs was working as a groundskeeper at Royal Arms Apartments, where a lady by the name of Carol Beckham managed that apartment complex. The importance of that is Carol was the wife of Bobby Beckham, who was a former retired major of the Bowling Green Police Department, who has since passed away, and we remember him fondly. But Rick developed an interest in law enforcement through his relationship with Carol and Bobby Beckham. He first started as a Warren County deputy jailer and later became a Bowling Green police officer. He's a graduate of Warren East High School. He's also a graduate of the University of Louisville just this spring with a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. He's also a graduate of Southern Police Institute Administrative Officers course. He's a graduate of Criminal Justice Executive Development and also the Academy of Police Supervision. Ricky really took the major responsibility in standing up our unmanned aerial vehicle unit that we are beginning to deploy on missions now. And he is also the chair of our Police Department Technology Team, which advises the chief on issues of technology and trends in technology. He served in our partnership with the Housing and Abraham Williams in our Residents Against Drug program for 3 years. He served as a criminal investigations detective, and as I mentioned earlier, the commander of the UAV unit. His mother, Ruth Ann, is here, and his girlfriend, Denise, is here to help him celebrate tonight. And last but not least, I would like to recommend Penny Bowles, Major of the Bowling Green Police Department, to the position of Lieutenant Colonel. For us police officers who've been here a long time, we all know Penny as the manager of McDonald's on the bypass. That's how we all got to know her. There was a time in the history of the Bowling Green Police Department where we would help or watch over people as they carried their deposits to banks. And every police officer at that time knew Penny because she was the night manager, and she would call us to take money to the bank, and we would meet there, and we would got to know her over time. So it was no surprise that she became interested in law enforcement and at some point decided she wanted to be a Bowling Green police officer. She was hired in 1996. She's a graduate of North Hardin High School, She's also a graduate of WKU with a bachelor's in sociology and criminology, and she's a graduate of Eastern Kentucky University with a master's in police administration. She's a graduate of the Southern Police Institute Administrative Officers course, the Department of Criminal Justice School of Strategic Leadership. She's a graduate of the Criminal Justice Executive Development course, also the Academy of Police Supervision, and much like Robert, she is an instructor in many, many things of which I will not rattle off. She serves on the Brass Board of Directors and also the Gary A. Raymer Scholarship Committee member. She served long-term as an honor guard member. Early in her career, she was a crime prevention / media officer. She has been a certified collision reconstructionist. She was promoted to sergeant in 2003. She was promoted to captain, I think in 2012, and also, no, that can't be right. Penny, you're going to have to help me here. Promoted to major in 2012, of which she has served in 2 assignments, special operations and professional standards. Tonight with her are her husband Brad, children Harrison and Laura, her dad Roger, and her in-laws Benny Bowles, who is a retired trooper, as is her husband, and maybe the nicest woman I know, Kay Bowles. So they're here tonight to help them celebrate. I strongly recommend all of them. I wholeheartedly feel that they will do an excellent job. I have all the confidence in the world, as do the members of our agency, and I hope you support those recommendations. Thank you.
So ask Penny and Brad and Rick who hired him when he was at the police department.
As Penny, Brad, and who?
Rick.
Rick.
Rick. Who hired,
Who hired him when he was working at the police department?
who hired him? The old man?
The old man. Congratulations to all of you. It's exciting for us to see, not just because we're friends and know your personalities and how well you've committed to this city, but just to see what's going on in our department. Thank y'all so much. We're so excited for y'all. Any comments or questions?
Just remember the blue car.
No further comments or questions. Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Congratulations to you again, and you guys are welcome to slip out if you like. We've got some other business to take care of here.
There's the whole house, didn't it?
There's 3 colors I've seen you in now. See you, Brett. All right, we'll continue with the first reading of Ordinance BG 2018-36.
Ordinance relating to classification pay schedules. Ordinance amending the classification pay schedules G for general classified and D for department head management employees of the City of Bowling Green for fiscal year 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Williams. Mr. Mizel.
As you will see on your agenda, we've got some changes coming up, and we need to make some amendments to our classification pay schedules for title changes and a little bit of everything. So I'll ask Mike Grubbs to come up and give you an overview of that.
While Mr. Grubbs is coming up here, we have an opportunity to recognize him for his last city commission meeting with us as an employee, unless we have special call. But I want to recognize, beg pardon?
Don't have one.
We don't have one scheduled.
Don't have a
That's right.
special call.
But I want to acknowledge Mike Grubbs because he's been here for 31 years. Came in 1987. He started as our Human Resources Director and helped develop our Citizens and Information and the Citizens Information and Assistance Department and became its director for a little while, and then returned to help us out on Human Resources. And all that time he's been managing our Convention Center Corporation. So we not just recognize what you've done for the city of Bowling Green as an institution, municipal government, but we recognize all the involvement that you've had throughout this community. You and your family mean a lot to us, and we're going to miss your face around here every day. And those that are interested, I think August 31st at Holiday Inn will be recognized a little further. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. People don't look on public employment the way they used to, but I take some pride in the fact that I've helped in a small way to help make the city better by human resources being involved in trying to recruit and retain the best people. And City of Bowling Green is a great place, obviously. I've spent most of my adult life here, and it's been good to me, and it's especially been my family for the last 4 years since Ed passed away. But anyway, as you all know, when we, our classification and pay is controlled by some schedules that are adopted by ordinance each year, particularly the beginning of the fiscal year. But time to time we have changes that occur, such as the case this evening due to some recommendations the city manager is making next on the agenda. As a result, we need to amend the schedule for management department heads in order to create a new classification for assistant city manager, chief financial officer, and to remove titles that will be no longer needed for assistant city manager, city clerk, and chief financial officer. And as a result of that change, we need to recreate the classification of city clerk, which was discontinued when that position was merged with assistant city manager back in 2006. Our recommendation is to go back to the pay grade that we used in 2006, and then also with the assistant city clerk position, because we had added duties to that job, want to return that position to the grade it held at the same time. So what you have before you is the recommendations by ordinance to make the changes that the city manager is recommending with the next two promotions. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right. New human resources, you're retiring, but your new human resources director is starting tomorrow, is that correct?
Erin Halsey will start tomorrow, and that'll give us the opportunity to spend some time together before I ride off into the sunset.
Give time to get some extra training with us and how we do things, right. All right, any comments or questions on the pay classification schedule? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-155.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Katie E. Schaller Ward to the position of Assistant Chief Excuse me. Can't read my own information.
Would you like us to do that for
I'm
you?
just going to stop.
Conflict of
Would
interest.
you want us to read it, Katie?
I'll
We
take
can
care
do it
of
for you.
Municipal Order 2018-155.
Read it, Mayor.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Katie E. Schaller Ward to the position of Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer in the Finance Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash.
It
Mr.
just
Bowser.
goes to show how humble she is. It bothers her to announce herself. We went through a process, and I'd like to thank Mike, Brent Childers, and Greg Meredith for helping me through this search process. But we got 21 applications. 15 of them were deemed by HR to meet the minimum requirements for the position. And we chose 5 candidates for interviews. 3 of those were external candidates and 2 were internal candidates. And it was a very competitive process. We took our time. I know it's been a while, but we took our time and we wanted to make the right decision. We spent a lot of hours in interviews and lengthy discussions after interviews, but through all of that, we've come before you tonight recommending Katie Schaller Ward to fill the position of Assistant City Manager and Chief Financial Officer. Katie has been with us for 22 years, so she knows a little bit about the city and how the finances work. It's funny, she started in finance as an intern in 1996, and now she's returning to finance as CFO. Katie has served us as interim public works director over the years at times. She recently served us as interim city manager. She holds a bachelor's degree of science, bachelor's of science degree in finance from Western, and just always has exhibited good leadership and managerial skills, and as I mentioned, just a vast knowledge of city finances and operations. With this move, Katie will be taking the budget with her to finance, She will also take the office of the purchasing agent with her to finance, and continue to assist me, city manager, with operations and special projects that come up with the city as well. So she's going to be a busy lady, but she will be handing off her duties as city clerk, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I wholeheartedly recommend to you Katie Schaller Ward for the position of Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer.
Go ahead, Joe.
I haven't got anything to say. I mean, if it's anyone deserving of a promotion, it's Katie. I can't think of anyone who works as hard as she does on any subject matter. You give it to Katie, it's going to be done, and it's going to be done right. I tease her all the time, as everybody knows, and she pays no attention to it. She goes right ahead and does her thing. Huh?
As everybody knows.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as everybody knows. But I consider her my buddy. I trust her, and I'm proud of her. And I am proud of the fact that her husband is here with her tonight. The gentleman we don't see very often, so if he will stand, everybody will know who he is. Please stand.
See what happens when you show up, John. So, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any other comments or questions?
Congrats.
We're excited. It's a new combined position, and we're looking forward to see what you bring to the table there, because it's, like Jeff said, I know Jeff well enough to know he means what he says when you're going to be busy. So
Oh, absolutely.
we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Please call the roll.
Does that mean when I get in trouble, I can't call you no more like I did? I called you on the way down to West Kentucky the other day.
Yeah, you can still call me about that.
Okay.
That's okay.
I appreciate it.
Please call the roll.
Benning?
Yes.
Nash?
Yes.
Perigin?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Wilkerson?
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up is Municipal Order 2018-156.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Ashley D. Jackson to the position of city clerk in the office of city manager.
So moved.
Motion by Williams, second by Nash. Mr. Mizel.
Tell you a quick story, if I might. Katie and I were meeting and discussing all the transition stuff, and so we said, you know, we've got to talk to Ashley. So we called Ashley in, and I basically said, we told her the news of Katie, and I said, so we're kind of looking for a city clerk. Do you know anybody that's interested? So she was a little bit taken back, but I think she's accepted it now. But anyway, with this transition that we're making, as Mike mentioned, we're going back to a straight-up city clerk position to fulfill all the duties assigned under KRS for that position. And then there's a lot. There's open records and just following the law. So Ashley has been in the assistant city clerk position now since 2006. Honestly, I felt there was no one else more qualified for this position, and I made the decision not to advertise it, and I would still stand by that decision. So Ashley is certified municipal clerk. She has her Associates of Arts degree in Business Management from Western, and has been very involved in all of the boards and committee meetings that go on here, taking minutes. As you know, she's filled in remarkably as city clerk from time to time, and feel like Ashley has the organizational skills and that are necessary to efficiently execute all the duties of this position. So I'm here tonight to recommend Ashley Jackson for city clerk, and Ashley is here in the back.
And you have to stand up so we can all see you. Congratulations, Ashley. The board have any comments or questions? We're excited for you. You're one of our go-to people here in the building, so glad you're going to be in that same area so we don't get lost looking for stuff. Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Sorry. Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, congratulations to you. Municipal Order 2018-157.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Megan R. Van Meter to the position of financial specialist in the finance department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Denning. Mr. Mizel.
I guess I'll take this as my last kind of act as CFO, kind of, sort of, but Sean was not able to make it tonight. He's out of town. But we had a retirement in Treasury, actually in the finance department. We did some reorganization. We moved one financial specialist from Treasury to license to fill for the retirement of Deborah Lambert. We went out for advertisement to fill the vacant position of Nicole Rogers in Treasury, sorry. And so we received 72 applications for this job. 50 were determined to meet minimum qualifications. They interviewed 7 candidates. One had to decline. But we are, I think Sean Weeks, Alex Ebling, and Tiger handled the interviews. And the recommendation is for Megan Van Meter for this. It's actually promotion for Megan. Megan is currently an office associate in Parks and Recs, been there since 2014. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in Systems Management from WKU and has completed her supervisor certification program offered by the city through the South Central Kentucky Training Consortium, and recently passed her career path testing program to get to senior office associate. And so Megan is our recommendation to fill the position of financial specialist in the Treasury Division in Finance, and I think Megan is here with us tonight.
Congratulations to you as well. Finance is one of those areas where nobody knows where you are. It's just we're dependent on making sure that you do a good job. So thank you so much.
We stole one from Parks. So.
Yeah. Other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes.
Rest and nobody crying. I knew it was going to happen. It was a matter of time.
Municipal Order 2018-158.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Teresa M. Hendrick to the position of office associate in the Human Resources and Risk Management Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Williams. Mr. Mizel.
We had a vacancy occur in the HR department. I'd like Mike to come up and make his recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. We've had a vacancy in our department since the end of last year. We went through a reorganization and filled that position through internal promotion as administrative assistant, which then opened up an office associate position. Did some more reevaluation of job duties and decided to have this vacant position assigned to primarily help risk management and our benefits manager. We advertised this position along with the position for fleet that we actually filled at the last commission meeting. We had 98 persons apply for the 2 positions. We contacted 56 to come in to do some computer-based skill testing. 37 applicants actually showed up. For this position, we interviewed 7 candidates and are recommending Teresa Hendrick. She has over 20 years of office and customer service experience, including over 5 years as a payroll and human resources assistant, and she is here this evening. glad to put this recommendation in, although we won't get to work with each other.
Congratulations to you, Teresa. Are there any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, congratulations again. Please feel free to slip out if you want to. Municipal Order 2018-159.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2019-07 for Cisco equipment from JBK Network Consulting Ltd. of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the amount of $182,986.21, and further approving the trade-in of existing equipment in the amount of $3,180 for a total net amount of $179,806.21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Williams. Mr. Mazel.
IT is in need, actually, this is year 2 of 2-year plan to upgrade our network switches. These are Cisco switches. They went out for bid, got 6 bids. JBK was judged to be low bid with the local preference. I think that's on, yeah, they were had local preference on this one. And these switch upgrades are going to actually increase our network capacity. As we get more and more devices on the network, we've got increased capacity. So Lynn is here to answer any questions you might have on this purchase.
Comments or
Did
questions?
I explain that right, Lynn?
Call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, Municipal Order 2018-160.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2019-08 for Panasonic camera equipment from JBK Network Consulting Ltd. of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the amount of $39,026.05.
Moved.
Motion by Williams, second by Nash. Mr. Mazel.
Some people may not know, but we have 350 cameras out there that the city is using to monitor our facilities and parks and other things. And again, we're on a 2-year plan to replace some of the older cameras. This item here before you would replace 45 cameras and 1 recorder. IT went out for bids and got 13 bids on these, and it was determined that JBK was the lowest bid, given the fact with the local bidder preference. So, recommending JBK for the purchase of the 45 cameras and 1 recorder. Lynn's here to answer questions on this one as well.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, Municipal Order 2018-161.
Municipal order authorizing software subscription services from Tyler Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $123,966.21 for fiscal year 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Perigin, second by Williams. Mr.
This is IT night. We're doing all of our IT items
He's
one
spending
night.
some money.
So
IT.
this item here is for our financial software that we have to pay maintenance on. This covers our financial software New World systems, which also includes payroll and human resources, community development suite, procurement management, and as well as some online eSuite type modules. So we've been with Tyler, actually bought out New World Systems, but we've been very pleased with our financial software and recommend this approval of maintenance cost. Lynn can answer any questions you have on it.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning. Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-162.
Municipal order approving a contract through cooperative purchase with Software House International Incorporated of
Piscataway.
Thank you, Piscataway, New Jersey, under Kentucky State Pricing Contract for the purchase of Microsoft Exchange licensing in the amount of $40,329.10.
So moved.
Second.
I've never seen that happen. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen Katie not be able to pronounce words, and she pronounces some words. That's serious now.
She knows how to pronounce Katawa, so that's all right.
Piscataway.
Perigin, Williams, Mr. Mazel.
This is to upgrade our Microsoft Exchange product, which is our email our platform. It's about 5 or 6 years old now, and need to replace due to the age. We are also at the same time upgrading from Exchange 2010 to Exchange 2016. This is basically the Outlook email software that we use. Lynn is here to answer any questions you have.
Any comments or questions?
This is a state price contract.
Other than pronunciation, are there any questions? Call the roll.
I had an unfair advantage. I've been there several times.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-163.
Municipal order approving the continuation of an agreement with Western Kentucky University for leaf composting services for fiscal year 2019 in the amount not to exceed $45,900.
Moved.
Second.
Nash, second by
As you know, we provide leaf collection, and last year we picked up a little over 1,200 tons of leaves, and we have to have a place for those leaves, and you can't really just go dump them somewhere. So we've had this deal with Western for some time. We pay them for the composting of these leaves. $45,900 is the proposed price, and we get 25% back of any compost sales that they make out at their farm, which last year was about $11,770. So we usually can get roughly close to $3,000 back in revenues from the composting of the leaves. So we are recommending to continue this agreement with Western, renew it for another year with Western Kentucky University.
discussion was up here about dumping leaves in anywhere, and that's simply not the case. You can't dump your leaves anywhere, especially in the street.
Right, or
Please tell people not to put them out in the street. We will pick them up off of their yard.
You need to keep them off the sidewalks and the curbs and out of the streets.
The good part about this program is that it helps meet one of our obligations on stormwater, keeping it clean, and then of course then we recycle the leaves and sell them, and everybody wins out of that. So we're excited to continue this program. Are there any other questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-164.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2019-03 for design services for Shive Lane corridor improvements from American Engineers Incorporated of Glasgow, Kentucky, in the amount of $85,800.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. Mr. Mizel.
As you remember, in this year's budget, FY19, you all approved this project to widen a portion of Shive Lane from Scottsville Road to Bale Boulevard. We're just getting started with that. I'd like to ask Greg to come up and give you an overview of where we're at with this project. This is for design services, and I'll let Greg answer your question and kind of tell you where we're at with it.
Thank you, Mr. Mizel. Mayor, City Commissioners, this is, again, like you said, the first phase of what we look at as a Shive Lane corridor improvement from Scottsville Road up through the intersection with Ken Bale, including a roundabout. We, as you can see, we had a total of 8 proposals that we looked through and evaluated based on price and selection criteria based upon experience and personnel. And so we're pleased here to recommend American Engineers for this project.
Comments or questions? The public to know if there's a road in the city that has a number on it, whether it's US 231 or Kentucky 234, those are responsibilities of the state. And what we're doing in similar projects to this is to try to enhance traffic flow around those roads that we don't have control over. So we're trying to participate in making traffic flow a little easier in that manner that we can. So we appreciate it. Any other comments?
Yeah, question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
If I'm looking at this right, what happened with the 2 low bids, 41 and 48?
Again, it's an evaluated bid, not just upon price. We look at the ability of a consultant, their previous work, and in this case, given the fact that we're designing a roundabout, we want that roundabout to be sure to function properly. We want somebody that with experience that's designed them before, that knows how traffic flow works in those, and proven leaders. So because of that, it was not simply a low bid kind of issue. We thought that the experience and the successful completion of other projects that included roundabouts were important in this case.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-165.
Municipal order approving the submission of the fiscal year 2018 Section 8 Management Assessment Program certification for the Housing Choice Voucher Program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Williams. Mr. Mizel.
This is just to submit another year to get certified on our choice or our housing choice voucher program. I think we've been certified on this for 12 straight years, and it shows the work of our housing division up on the Hill under Brent Childers' direction, and ask for your support of this municipal order to submit for another year of assessment. They grade us, tell us how we're doing, quality control kind of stuff, and gives us kind of a stamp of approval of our program, and we ask for your support of this municipal order. Brent, do you have anything to add?
Are there any comments or questions?
And approval, what would that say to the city of Bowling Green? Does it give you any more slots? What happens?
No additional funding, no additional vouchers. This gives us the check mark from HUD, so we continue to operate the program. We continue to provide services to the citizens of Bowling Green.
Questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-166.
Municipal order authorizing the submission of a grant application to and acceptance of grant funds from the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Justice Programs for fiscal year 2018 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Funds in the amount of $30,779.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Denning. Mr. Mizel.
Not sure how many years we've been pursuing this one either, but we are wanting to submit for it again for 2018. The amount would be $30,779. The good thing about this one is there's no match required. It's just straight up money, and we would split that with the county, $15,390, $389 each. Police department would like to use it to purchase 4 more additional in-car cameras, and then I think the county uses it for other things. So would ask for your permission to submit for this grant.
Comments or questions? Call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018, first reading of ordinance 2018-37.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 2.01 acres from AG Agriculture and RS1A Single Family Residential to RS1A located at 0 Greenview Lane, presently owned by Sandra Franklin.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning, second by Williams. It's unanimous recommendation from Planning and Zoning for a rezoning of some infill land that looks like a great idea. Are there any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-167.
Municipal order authorizing and approving a maintenance agreement for the public safety mobile radio communications system between the City of Bowling Green, Warren County, and Motorola Solutions Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Perigin, second. Nash. Mr. Mizel.
As you know, about 3 years ago, or maybe longer, we partnered with the county to replace our 800 radio system. I think we were down to maybe one tower, and we've put in a new system with multiple towers. We have gone through our 3 years of warranty on the product, and before you tonight is an extended maintenance agreement. I'd like to ask Chief Hawkins to come up and give you an overview. And I think that we have a visitor from Motorola here as well. So,
Thank you, Mr. Meisel, and Ken Ackerman from Motorola is here tonight if we have any questions that I can't answer. Try to give you an overview. 2011, city and the county formed a radio agency. Chief Colson and myself both serve on that. I'm currently the chairman of that agency. As Mr. Meisel said, we built a new radio system that came with a certain amount of warranty. We are now at the end of that warranty. As a matter of fact, we have sort of overextended the time on that warranty, but Motorola is working with us, keeping that warranty, that maintenance in place until we finalize an agreement. What we've brought before you all tonight is a draft copy. It's not a final version, but it is very, very close to a final version, and we're working diligently to try to get that done. What we hope tonight is that you all will approve that in draft form and trust us to dot the I's and cross the T's and finalize that so we can get it done. Our hope and our goal is to try to get it done by September 1st. May not be possible. We will continue to work with our partners along those lines. This maintenance agreement covers in large scope the infrastructure of the system. We have a 5-tower system. Frankly, I can't speak technically about much of what the system does, but it is a P25 simulcast system. The reason the system is built the way it is because it gives us about 96% coverage of the county for radios, and that's really important. We did not have that under the old system. We have quite a bit more physical coverage of the county for our radio system now than we used to. It's also a digital system, so the sound quality is better for the most part than the old system ever was. It's also more reliable. We have a system that has 5 towers instead of 1. If we lose 1 tower through natural disaster or something along those lines, the system continues to work. We don't lose our radio system because we lose 1 site or 1 tower, and so that's really important to us to maintain radio communication, especially in some sort of disaster, natural disaster kind of situation. We do have partners that, although didn't participate in the building or the paying of the system, we do have some other partners that use our system that pay us for the privilege of using our system, and that's the ambulance service, as well as Western Kentucky University Police Department, as well as transportation from somebody help me. Community Action. Thank you. And so they also use the radio system for their communication as well. We will have opportunities in the future maybe to expand use, but right now those are the agencies that use it. The maintenance agreement moving forward will cover in the infrastructure, which is the 5 tower sites plus the equipment in our dispatch center, plus the equipment in the sheriff's office dispatch center, plus our alternate 911 center at one of the outer fire stations. And so we're talking about a biannual software upgrade. Any piece of the infrastructure that fails, any piece of the mechanical equipment, which could be computer. Most of this system, I think Ken would try to explain to you, this is a very, very, very expensive computer system, right? The radio system, with the exception of some microwave equipment, is really computer operated. And so there's a lot of computer-like equipment, computer-related equipment in this system. And so they guarantee that to continue to operate. They will replace or repair anything that breaks in the infrastructure in the term of this agreement, which is 10 years. We will get a biannual software upgrade. Any equipment that needs to be replaced in order to continue to upgrade software in years to come, new equipment will be installed to make sure that that new software continues to operate properly. We also have, as part of this agreement, rapid response if we have a failure of a piece of equipment or if we have some sort of communication failure. They do have a very short time frame to send us technicians in order to get our system functioning fully again. So we feel like as an agency, as the 4 people on this team. We feel like this is a good deal for us. It's an expensive deal, no question about it. It's almost $5 million for a 10-year investment in maintenance and a warranty on this. You divide that out, and the payments aren't exactly equal, but it's about $500,000 a year divided between half will be the county's responsibility, half of that will be the city's responsibility. So although not in exact numbers because it's a graduated payment scale, but roughly about $250,000 a year for the city and also for the county to maintain this for the next 10 years. The way it's been described to us is, although not every component will be brand new at the end of the 10 years, the system will function as new in 10 years. They will maintain it functionally as it is today. And so there certainly will be pieces and parts in all likelihood replaced over time. There will be software upgrades over time. And then at the end of that 10-year agreement, it will function as it does today. And if that didn't provide enough information, I'll try to answer any questions. Certainly Mr. Ackerman would be happy to try to answer a question if it's something that I can't. Yes, sir.
Mobile-wise, can you talk as chief of police to Unit 1 at the fire department, Unit 1 at University and ambulance service, mobile-wise?
We do. There's a terminology that's called interoperability with all of those partners. Western Kentucky University, if we choose to, we can talk to Western Kentucky University Police, we can talk to the ambulance service, we can talk to the county, any of the county members that use it. Everybody that's on that radio system has the ability to talk to one another, although we tend to operate on our own channels. As a matter of day-to-day operation, we do have channels we can all switch to and talk to one another. So we have excellent interoperability between agencies and service providers that use that radio system.
So if we have a problem, a disaster of some kind, which I hope we don't have, communication, it can be set up mobile-wise.
Yes, and also a feature that this system also has is we can add federal partners if they have the appropriate radio equipment, their portables and such. They can be added on a temporary basis. So if we have an event that requires some federal partners to come in, they can also be temporarily added to the system so that we can even talk to them if necessary.
How much do the other users contribute towards the cost?
There's a fee that we establish for every radio that's either a portable that they can hold in their hand or one that's a mobile that is typically mounted in a vehicle. They're called subscribers is the term they use in the industry. Every subscriber pays $50 per month to have that radio on the system. So if a single radio from any of these agencies is on the system for the year, that's a $600 revenue per radio annually.
We've also been paying ourselves since we got on the new system, and so we have accumulated some savings there because at the time when we first got on the new system, we didn't know if we were going to do this extended type warranty or we were going to kind of self-fund a replacement. So from day one, the city's also been paying itself every month for user fees at that $600 annual rate. So we have managed to accumulate some reserves for purposes such as this. So we may have the first year or two covered. So.
And we do have to plan for eventual obsolescence of this system and what will be the next technology that's going to follow this, whether that be 10, 20 years from now. At some point, it's going to happen. So
will and
it's going to cost money.
Sure it is, and that's a strategy we ought to consider. What we're doing now is we're maintaining what we have. Right, we're not setting aside at the moment and planning on buying another system. And maybe Ken could answer that better on what's on the horizon. But I think the P25, which is the current federal standard, which is if you're getting a new radio system, the federal government would like you to invest in P25. So that's where the technology is now in that digital world of 800 megahertz versus 700 megahertz and all of that. I can't tell you where the market's going. Maybe Ken could, but you're right. There will be a time at some point in the future where we will need to reinvest and put some real money back into this system or replace major parts of it. But not before 10 years under this agreement.
This 10-year period maintains the system as it is today.
That's correct.
For that 10-year period.
That's right.
Sticking a flag station in it, Joe.
We've come a long way since 1968 in our police department.
2
I can
years
assure
before
you.
I was born.
Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First reading of ordinance BG 2018-38.
Ordinance relating to property tax rates. Ordinance setting 2018 property tax rates, franchise tax rates, and improvement assessment rates, and setting forth guidelines for payment, penalty, and interest.
So moved.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. We had a complete explanation in our public hearing, but suffice it to say that Wes is going to tell everybody their Bowling Green property taxes are going down, even though it's just a little bit. Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-168.
Municipal order designating and authorizing city officials to execute checks and to open new investment accounts on behalf of the city of Bowling Green.
So moved.
Second.
By Perigin, second by Nash. Mr. Mizel.
We need to make a few changes, again, with mainly titles. Currently, Katie and I are signees on all city checks. I'm on there as chief financial officer. She's on there as assistant city manager, city clerk. This is making a request for us to change that for us to remain the two signers, but we would change our titles. But then we've always had a third backup signature with, like when Kevin was here, like for if one of us was on vacation, we needed a second signature to open up a new investment account or something. We would have that second signature. So we are designating an assistant chief financial officer for that duty, and that would be Sean Weeks, which is he's over our revenue side of finance, in case we were to ever be in need of a second signature. But anytime we open up a new checking account, we have to bring that before this board via municipal order. But we are authorized to open up new investment accounts at any time with two signatures, is the way we have it set up. Just want to clear that, make that clear.
Comments or questions? Call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Take a brief recess while I get the names of the people who are going to speak in our public meeting. I'll be right back. return to open session for public comments, and I believe Diana Harper is here first to speak. Ms. Harper is first on the list.
Oh, I'm from out of town, but I've noticed some things in the community on transportation at the community transportation. I went down and talked to manager at the GO station transportation in town. It's going real well, except for your community is growing rapidly and needs more transportation, and they don't have any more money for more buses. And I guess they're working on new areas in the town, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you're getting more and more people into the community, which is a good thing. I went up to ask her about this Lever Lane. The people would like to get home, and they close the bus service down at 5 o'clock. They get off work at 6 and cannot have a ride back home from work. A lot of these people depend on a ride to and from work. I think it's something to look into. She said it was going to cost $45,000 for a new bus to run a bus out there. And maybe if we could get somebody to maybe close the station an hour later so that people could get home after work. They get a ride to work, but they can't come home. They get stuck out there.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Jennifer Moreland. Do you have a comment again, Jennifer?
Thank you for letting me speak, Bruce. And I joked about this. I said that I'll probably hire you after I do get after the election to write my bills.
We don't do campaign commercials here.
I know. I was just joking. Okay. I am dealing with something with my landlord. My landlord is not fixing anything. And Clay Properties, they won't fix anything. And we need to change the Tenant Law Act. We need to change it so we can protect people from landlords don't fix anything. Because what's happening is even if we take the lease away, they're going to try to find a place, and they'll sabotage another place. We have to find a way to get the landlord to fix their property so living arrangements would be better. And I'm living in, you have no idea. There's people who's living with no heat, no hot water, everything. We got to do something about this. We got to. So I'm posing that one of you four will sit down with me and discuss the bill and trying to reason with the bill to let it pass. Because what we can do is compromise and see what will pass. That's all I'm asking.
Very much. That's the last one on our list of people to speak, so we'll be moving on. Our next scheduled meeting is September 4th, 2018. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be going into a closed session.